Hello everyone, good afternoon. Hello ma'am, can we have your audio test ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Smita ma'am, can we have your audio test please?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly fine, thank you. Muzaffar Ali sir, can we have your audio and video test also? Dear Muzaffar sir, can you hear me? Simanchal sir, am I audible?
Hi, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you sir. Yeah, we can see you. Thank you sir. We're just waiting for one of our panelists to join. We'll be starting very shortly. Friend, I think we can start now. If the panelists have not joined, he may join later on. I request you to kindly begin now.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. I am Afrin Yadav from Collaborative Advocacy of Sphere India organization. I warmly welcome everybody who has joined us today for this very important session of Interfaith Humanitarian Alliance. The esteemed keynote speaker, the moderator, the participants, and our eminent set of panelists who come from different faith-based religious organizations of West Bengal. I would like to briefly introduce Sphere India to the participants who are joining us for the first time. Sphere India is a national coalition of humanitarian development and resilience actors in India. Sphere India facilitates multi-stakeholder coordination, knowledge and capacity sharing and collaborative advocacy for enhancing accountability to the affected and at-risk population. I would also like to take you through this IFHA initiative in India about Interfaith Humanitarian Alliance. The world is dealing with emergencies and disasters frequently. Preventing religion-based discrimination and following the values of peace and harmony is the need of the hour. As influencers, faith-based leaders have a responsibility to highlight the ways forward for the people to deal with emergencies and associated behavioral issues. Faith leaders play a very critical role in spreading awareness about facts from credible sources to help minimize the fear and anxiety among people. Such steps would not only ease the struggle of the survivors with the post-pandemic behavioral issue, but would also deal with the infodemic of misinformation and rumor that is playing a crucial role in creating stigma and racism. Understanding the crisis from a humanitarian perspective is a collective responsibility. Faith-based leaders also have the critical role of spreading awareness on credible information to help minimize fear and anxiety and help to mitigate disaster. Considering all of these things, especially during a crisis, we look to our leaders, especially faith-based leaders, to build preparedness and strengthening community resilience through credible information sharing and humanitarian action. That said, India's Interfaith Humanitarian Alliance has been doing sessions for the past 1.5 years in different states with our faith leaders trying to discourse about COVID response and what work they have done, and also to spread messages on COVID appropriate behavior. And we are conducting this session in collaboration with UNICEF and World Vision India. So we would like to begin the session today with the keynote address by Mr. Simanchal Patnaik from UNICEF. He is Program Officer in Disaster Risk and Resilience at UNICEF India. And before inviting him, I would like to briefly introduce him to our audience. Simanchal Patnaik is a Program Officer in Disaster Risk and Resilience at UNICEF India, and in 2010 to 11, he has joined GFDRR, the World Bank, and NIDM. He has largely worked with UNDP from 2001 to 2013. From 2013 to 14, he was a state coordinator in UNICEF supported WASH program in schools. Again, from Feb 2014 to October 2014, he worked as a state project officer UNDP, and during 2014 to 2016, he was advisor as emergency preparedness and response in Action Aid Zimbabwe. And in 2016, he was disaster risk reduction officer. And currently, he is program officer in disaster risk and resilience from 2017 in UNICEF. So I request him to kindly share his keynote address for today's session. Over to you, Simanchal, sir.
Good afternoon, all of you. I hope I'm audible to all.
Yes, sir. You are audible. You are clearly audible.
Thank you. Thank you, Afrin, for giving such elaborate introduction about me. First of all, I would like to thank Sphere India organizing this workshop webinar on online mode. So the faith-based leaders and the organizations are most important in this humanitarian context. Uh, so I would like to first highlight UNICEF has been long association with this faith-based organizations, not only in the humanitarian field, also since a long time in social mobilization and advocacy, especially in West Bengal, since it's a state of having multiple faith organizations and faith presence. So it's really important to influence the community through the religious leaders who can actually influence and also guide the community in doing right kind of preparedness and also the response measure in case of any emergencies. In West Bengal, UNICEF has very long association with all these faith organizations. So we have done a lot of work in polio interventions and also open defecation campaign. Then UNICEF has partnership with many faith-based organizations to work on the child right issues with respect to the core sectors of UNICEF, that is education, child protection, nutrition, health, and water sanitation. So we have been very long a session. We know how these faith leaders, religious leaders can make a difference in the approach of different development initiatives. So I'm very much thankful to be part of this discussion. So on behalf of UNICEF, I must express my gratitude to all the faith-based leaders present here, even the panel members and the representative from World Vision, who are very much closely working with the communities as well as many other stakeholders in humanitarian context. In the keynote address, what topic which was given to me is on what is the role of faith-based organizations or faith leaders in the humanitarian context. In my knowledge, I have been working in this field since last 2 decades, more than 2 decades. So what I found, whatever the work we do at different level, so it is most important need to be translated to the communities because they are the fast responder. Any disaster or any emergency occurred, so community has to face it and handle it. And for that we apply many lenses that how we can reach to the community, how we can make them better prepared for any emergencies. And then comes the role of the religious leader who has a very strong relationship and also the intellectual level to influence these communities, and then also help them to understand what is the importance of our preparedness. I think this should be the starting that they how they can actually mobilize the community, how can they advocate with many stakeholders to understand the importance of disaster risk reduction. So these are few things I think the faith leaders are doing. It's not new. I know many religious organizations very proactively participate in the humanitarian response. Not only in the relief measures, they also do some long-term recovery measures. So I have seen it in 99, since 99 super cyclone in Orissa, then also many other disasters, tsunami in 2004 in South India, also the Kosi flood in Bihar, and many other major disasters, even nationally and internationally also I have seen all these religious organizations support the communities in various ways. So beyond the humanitarian action, they also work in recovery, especially recovery phase where they construct the community infrastructure. They support the community to rebuild their individual structure and also capacities. So in that context, I don't need to actually tell them what it is their role. Rather, I need to learn from them what role exactly they play and how they can enhance and what support exactly they need from the humanitarian organization like UNICEF, World Vision, or any other humanitarian organization. So we would be happy to support the organizations and extend our no technical expertise to all these institutions, how we can actually join the hand with them and then reach to the community who are the fast responder. So with this, I don't want to take much time because we have some distinguished panel members. I would like to hear from them in on very specific points. I think this is a good learning opportunity for all who are participating in discussion. Even I hope this webinar is recorded and will be shared with many other members, religious members and faith-based organizations. So I would expect if they can actually take the advantage of learning from our religious leaders and then actually replicate this in their respective communities, it will be a great help. With this, I would like to thank Afreen and other team members in Spear India and also the World Vision, even the all the participants for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much. Over to you. Thank you.
Afrin, you are on mute.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for sharing the experiences. You rightly noted about preparedness and recovery measures, infrastructure, rebuilding, and all. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, now I would like to request Mr. Kunal Nayak, manager of.
Afrin, I think Mr. Kunal is unable to join due to some technical reasons.
Okay.
So we can directly go to our speakers. You can kindly introduce them one by one.
Yeah, okay. Just
In fact, he has joined now. Mr. Kunal and other panelists have joined now.
Really sorry. I'm really great.
Hello, sir. Welcome.
I'm really sorry. System problem. I could not join in time. I'm really sorry for that.
No issue, sir. We have just finished with the keynote address, and yeah, we can now request you, Afrin. You can.
yes, yeah, I would like to request Mr. Kunal Naik, Manager of Faith and Development for Northeast Zone of World Vision India, to speak on role of faith leaders in strengthening community response mechanism in future exigencies. And Mr. Kunal Nayak has a long experience of more than 20 years in the field of rural development and sustainable development. He is passionate about proven education and ensuring the bright future of the poor children. And in this regard, there have been achievements as a good number of youth for their future. Over to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rinji. Thanks a lot. I'm really sorry, friends, once again for my mishap. But anyway, I'm in your presence. I'm so glad to be in your midst. Now, as I have to speak few lines on that before we go to the real meeting. Today, we are discussing about the role of faith leaders in strengthening community response and response mechanism in future exigencies. And we, especially when we are in the midst of all the faith leaders who are really influential, important, and responsible, we expect a lot of things from them, especially in the time of exigencies, emergencies. Generally, when we speak, we have three type of exigencies, emergencies. That is called slow space, like your some pandemic. Something rapid is your earthquake, cyclone, and some man-made things also. In such things, especially vulnerable group, children, women, and other poor group people, they get displaced, they get disconnected, and the community where they stay, we have our valuable faith leaders there. Their presence itself is a great encouragement. And faith leaders and their group, they are the first one to reach. They go there, immediately they provide support, and the mental health is ensured by them only, that through counseling, through many good things. So now sometimes we do that, and all faith groups, they have already proved that they are already there in the community, and they have been doing many good things. But now what we are planning to see, what else can be done, is how can we strengthen that? How can we strengthen that mechanism to respond to such situations? And when our faith leaders are intentional about it, I mean that they're definitely intentional. At the same time, what we expect is they need to educate, they need to make their community like that to create a better humanity. So if this is done, it is being done already, I know, but at the same time, our request is to them, so that they sensitize their community, their people, their leaders a little more, so that we can have a better response from them. So because I'm already late, I don't want to speak even more. So with these words, I thank you all for bearing with me, that now we are in the meeting, which is really a very vital meeting. Sometimes we don't understand. Sometimes we feel these sort of things happen many times. But when we are intentional, when we are serious about this issue, then the scenario can change. We can change the situation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Now I request you to kindly take over the floor and moderate the session also for today.
Yeah.
All the
Thank you.
speakers have also to join now.
Yeah.
Only
Thank you very much.
Bachchan sir is having some issue in connecting his audio, I can see.
Right. So out of 5, we have only 4, or
We have all
1,
5, sir.
2, 3. Okay. So with due respect to all the panelists, all our honorable speakers, and all participants, now I just want to put forward some questions before you, so that we can get your view on it, and how can we strengthen the mechanism. So a little modification what I have already discussed with the team of Sphere India, that for each speaker we will read all 3 questions, and our speakers will speak on that. If our other speakers have something to add on to it, they can. In this way, now we can manage our time a little. Or sometimes when we ask each to speak on the same topic, that takes a little more time. Just to cut some time and get the best one from everyone, I want this little notification with your permission. Hope we can go this way. Can we? Hello? Hello,
Yeah,
am I audible?
Yeah, you're okay. It is a request to our panelists that if we can go like all questions at a single time to one speaker.
Yeah.
So if speakers allow, we can do this way.
That is what
Yes, sure.
we can. We thank you.
Yes.
Great. So thank you very much. Now we will listen from our sister BK Asmita Brahmakumari. We welcome you, madam. We are honored to have you in this team. Now let me read 3 questions for you, and we will like to listen from you. The first one is, how can we prepare better for effective humanitarian actions post-emergencies and disaster, while fostering a positive outlook among the community? This is question number 1. Question number 2, what advice would you like to give to your followers to together pray and practice faith during the post-pandemic times and prevent religious-based discriminations On the basis of religion, we should not have any discrimination. How can we come together and pray for this situation? And the third question is promoting leadership qualities of the responders and service providers and building capacity in psychosocial care and support, gender-based violence, promoting resilience in the communities. Hope it is clear to you, madam. And now we are eagerly waiting to listen to you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Brother Kunal Naik ji and Sphere India and the organizers of this wonderful session today. When it comes to preparedness for emergencies, disasters, the preparedness begins, I think, in the mind, where if the mind is stable, peaceful, our brain functions better. We are able to take the correct decisions and respond well to critical situations. Normally what happens, when there is a crisis or when there's any kind of huge problem, people are, they develop this, what is known as tunnel vision. When a person is drowning, somebody is there helping them, giving them a hand or giving them something to hold on to. But because of the fear, they're not able to see who is helping them. So, those who are trained to help people who are drowning, they will, they are trained in such a way that if a person is drowning here, the person who is helping should be directly in front of me, because my vision has become, like this tunnel vision. Anyone who is standing here or there, I'm not able to, know that they are helping me. I can only see this much, this little tunnel there. And so that person has to come directly in front of me, and then I can receive that help. So why this happens? Because, the brain becomes confused. So much information, so much of fear, tension. I remember some time back, a few years back, in fact, somebody had shared with me, they were in the department of firefighting. So they had shared with me that in an auditorium, there was a fire and they had enough of firefighting equipment. And still there was a big loss. Why? Because people were so full of fear when that fire broke that they picked up that firefighting, the extinguisher, and instead of using it in the correct manner, they just threw the extinguisher in the fire. So they were not able to use those extinguishers in the proper way because one thing, they were not trained properly, they didn't have the information, but all the information was written. They were not able to read it because of that confusion that was created. So it is so important that the mind is stable in order to, protect yourself, protect others, to help others in such situations. But then if you expect that when the emergency breaks out at that point of time, suddenly a person should become stable and, become very peaceful. Now it's very important, why peace? I'm talking about stability and peace. Today we have all gathered together on one platform, all religions, but one common religion we all share. That is the religion of peace. And that is the foundation of all religions. That is the foundation of spirituality. So if I'm practicing peace and stability every day, in everyday disasters, we have small disasters happening almost every day. Bigger disasters happen once in a while. But small disasters like, somebody is betraying me or not behaving well with me, or, getting angry with me or criticizing me, or there's some financial loss, or there's some family problem. These small disasters also shake up people in such a way that they're not able to, maintain their inner calm. So if we practice remaining calm and stable every day in the face of these disasters, smaller disasters, then we can develop the resilience to face the bigger ones. There's a little story I would like to share. There's a place in Maharashtra, in Pune. There's a small a hill. On top of that hill, there's a temple. And in that city, there was a bodybuilder who went to his ustad and he said, okay, you teach me how I can develop strength and how I can do good wrestling. So his ustad told him, okay, I will teach you, but the condition is that I have a small calf. My cow has just given birth to a calf, and you have to pick up that calf on your shoulder and walk up that hill and go to that temple and pray every day. Then you will get the blessings to develop strength. So the person said, okay, he was a strong man. So he used to pick up the calf and walk up the hill, climb the hill and pray every day. And slowly that calf grew up into a big bull. And still that bodybuilder, he was lifting that bull on his shoulder and walking up the hill. But that didn't happen in one day, lifting up a bull and walking up a hill. So it was not just a matter of taking blessings, it was a matter of regular practice every day. So am I practicing peace every day? This is something I need to learn. Practicing remaining calm no matter what happens. No matter what. So for that, I have to, start conditioning my mind that I will remain calm and to connect with my inner being every day. Connection. So with all the practices you may be doing, this one little practice of connecting with your inner being, of connecting your inner original peaceful being is very helpful to keep your mind calm and not be affected by what is happening outside. So the focus, is on bringing out the peace from within, from experiencing the peace from the one above. Like they say, for improving your immunity, you need maybe something like vitamin D. Now it is there all around you. The sun is shining and giving all the energy. But if you don't expose yourself to that every day, at least 20% of your body is not exposed to that, then you're not receiving it. So if every day I can connect my mind to that supreme source of peace, connect and receive that peace. So it's a little practice which we, often all of us are telling everyone and also doing ourselves, the practice of remaining peaceful and connecting with that supreme. So it's, all the memories are there, whatever is happening around us, all the memories are there inside us, good memories, bad memories, all kinds of thoughts are there. But the question is, what am I retrieving from inside? What am I focusing on? The quality of those memories that I'm using and retrieving from within will determine how peaceful and how stable I can remain in the face of any situation. And that is why, we sing this song. ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। आती है आंधियां तो कर उनका खैर मकदम, तूफान से ही तो लड़ने खुदा ने तुझे गढ़ा है। ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है. So it is where you are focusing on. Are you focusing on positivity every day? Are you focusing on what is good in everyone? What is peaceful in everyone? Then you can, move out of your little smaller problems and you can also go out and help others, because in the face of emergencies and disasters, it's not just keeping yourself calm, but also helping others. Because if you're able to come out of your own little limits, your own selfish limits, then you can go and help. I think practice of peace every day, and practice of connecting with that higher source every day, and focusing on what is positive every day, every single day, taking out time consciously to do it, then that will help us to develop that kindness, that compassion for everyone, for helping others. And if you are having kind thoughts for others, you will attract that help from others. Remember in science, in school, we studied, there was something known as tuning fork in physics. There's a tuning fork. So if you just shake it, it will start vibrating. And if you keep another fork just next to it, slowly the other fork also starts vibrating in the same frequency as this first one. So, the thoughts that we are having are also creating vibrations. And if I'm using peaceful vibrations, peaceful thoughts, I'm creating that aura around me. And anyone who comes near me will be influenced by that positivity. And they also are helped to become stable, peaceful. And so mentally, we can help so many others. Physically also, of course, many people are very conscious about giving physical help to others, food or, shelter. They are helping others. But this mental stability, suppose there's a disaster and somebody's lost everything, everyone in their family. Even if you're giving them something physical, they need something much more than that. They need that inner peace. They need that, and it is not something physical that you can just hand over. Okay, here you come and take some peace from me. No, but if you yourself are peaceful, if you yourself are stable, strong, even without speaking anything, even without doing anything much, whatever is possible you do, but you are still, giving those vibrations to others from a higher frequency, those good vibrations are going, and negative vibrations will not be affecting you. So they're just keeping these 3 key points. Number 1, practice stability and the religion of peace every day. Connect with that supreme source. This is point number 2, because connecting will help you to strengthen yourself and also to have that positive feeling towards everyone. When we connect with that supreme, we start looking at the world through his eyes, So that supreme being has so much love for everyone. Does the supreme have discrimination between this one and that one, this caste, this religion? What are his eyes? In his eyes, all are his creation. All are his children. So when we connect, we are able to see everyone through his eyes, through that compassion. And number 3, reverberate that positivity every day. Strengthen your aura and always be safe and make others safe. Be happy, be peaceful, and radiate the same. Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your precious thoughts. And friends, we all realize these truths. Wherever the noble thing comes, whatever may be the source, let us welcome it. This way which Sister B.K. Asmita has expressed now. For common people, it may seem impossible, but a general saying goes, practice makes a man perfect. When we keep on practicing such things, one day we will be perfect. So, but in our busy life, we're so busy with many things that we are not able to practice such good things, precious things, which are essential for our lives. If we practice that, we may not be that restless when the disaster comes, because we are prepared. Our mind has been conditioned that way. Thank you so much for these precious thoughts. So now, before we go to the next panelist to listen from, uh, I have few lines. I was just reminded by this. We should not be that busy. We should not be too busy. Sometimes we are so busy that we forget our lives, and finally we are caught up in problems. But let us concentrate on such precious thoughts, that how can we practice it to just to condition our mind to practice peace, and we are prepared for any situation. So thank you so much once again, ma'am. We are so blessed to have you here. And
Thank you so much.
In times to come, also when we have time, we will definitely like to listen to you even after our other panelists speak. Thank you so much. So now I would like to request our next panelist, Mujaffar Ali Sahab. Sir, if you are there, I hope I'm audible to you. Now it is time for you to speak on the same 3 questions I'm reading for you. Sir, उम्मीद करते हैं आपको हमारा आवाज सुनाई दे रहा है.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So we are honored to have you here, sir, with you. The same 3 questions I would like to ask you. How can we prepare better for effective humanitarian action post emergencies and disaster while fostering a positive outlook amongst the community? This is question number 1. Question number 2 is, what advice would you like to give to your followers to together pray and practice faith during the post-pandemic times and prevent religious-based discriminations? The basis of religion sometimes we discriminate. We think they are something, we are something. So how can we address it? And the third one is promoting leadership qualities of responders and service providers, and building capacity in psychological care and support gender-based violence, promoting resilience in communities. So it's time to you, sir. We all love to listen to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm really honored to be among this assembly of learned people. I have just listened to Sister Smita, and I appreciate whatever she has said. Really, this is the goal of all religions. Above all the religions, there is a religion of peace and humanity. This humanity is itself a religion. And when we say that how can we remove the discrimination, I think this is the only way that religion teaches us that all the people in this world belong to one family. They are the creation of our Lord, who has made us brothers and sisters, because we are the sons and daughters of one common set of parents. I mean, so this basis and foundation of brotherhood is the essential essence of each and every religion. Now, see, before I go to the questions specifically, I would like to say one thing, that normally the people who come to us under the umbrella of religion, I mean, there are 2 kinds of people. One is that some of them are come to just perform some rites and rituals in the hope that they will get something out of it. And the second one is that the people who are oppressed, the people who are under stress, who are in distress, they come for a solace, for a peace of mind, just through different activities, and maybe through meditation, maybe through prayers, maybe through good company. But then, see, both of these are short-term benefits of religion. Every religion gives basically the feeling that we have been created as responsible people, responsible creation, responsible creatures on this earth, who have to do a wonderful thing to this universe, to this humanity. We have to be responsible for other people. We have to be responsible for the environment. We have that responsibility of creating an environment which is congenial and useful for each and everyone, whether he belongs to any religion, whether he belongs to any section, whether he is educated, uneducated. This sense of responsibility, the sense of greatness in every human being, the dignity, is the essence of our basic teachings of the religions. You see, what advice can we give is that religion is not something like a rite or ritual. I mean, rite and rituals may lose their significance if there is no spirituality behind it. If we are not spiritually uplifted through our life and actions, then everything is going to be lost and we are not going to get any benefit out of it. If we go into the scriptures, we will see that the intention behind every action is the main thing. And the intention is to be fair, to be honest, to be caring for others, and to be responsible people on earth, responsible creatures on earth. I mean, this is the thing that we have to develop. And one thing is that our education system, which is supposed to imbibe these values among us, sometimes fails to do this. And there comes the faith-based organizations. They try to build up a kind of character that should have been the focus of our education, along with other things. And the faith-based organizations and leaders, sometimes, they ignore these things. So that complicates the situation. If we are conscious of the responsibilities, we know that the universal brotherhood is the common feature of each and every one, that we have to remain prepared to face all disasters, whether it is physical, whether it is mental, whether it is spiritual, whether it is man-made, whether it is natural. Take one example. When we see the society, we see that some people are against other people. And there is a concerted effort to create divisions among the people. So, I mean, it is their business for political reasons, for their benefits. They might do something, but for us, for human beings, for people who are educated, how can we I believe in it, that people can be divided and people can be discriminated against. I mean, this is not possible from an educated people. So in this way, it is the responsibility of each and every educated person to ensure that basic human rights and responsibilities are shared with each and everyone, whether it is through education system, whether it is through worship, whether it is through congregations. Each and everyone has to look for achieving this spiritual upliftment of people. I mean, I think this is in short. While agreeing with Sister Asmita, I would have liked to add these things. If there are any questions, then we can come back. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for bringing this truth that we are universally brothers. We need to respect that universal brotherhood. When we understand that we are the children of the same God, then definitely all the hatreds, all the problems that we face, we can get rid of it. And as he said, we do things for many reasons. And there is a good saying goes, whatever may be your intention, people see your presentation. But whatever may be your presentation, God sees your intention. When the religious leaders are intentional, when they understand, when we all understand that God sees our intention, with what intention we do what we do, so definitely we can have a better world. Thank you so much, sir, for your precious thoughts. And friends, as he has already asked, if anybody has any question on it, be prepared so that we will have a question and answer session, and we will put that question forward and we can listen to the response. Thank you so much. Now I would like to request our another analyst, Sister Chandana Rajarayo. So, sir, I welcome you. Hope I'm audible to you. We are so privileged to have you in our midst. We are honored really to have you. Now we want to listen from you. We want to know your thoughts on this. And for you again, I want to repeat the question. Question Are you aware of that question, or shall I read for you?
Okay, no problem.
Okay. So the first question goes, how can we prepare better for effective humanitarian action, post-emergencies and disasters while fostering positive outlook amongst the community? Second question is, what advice would you like to give to the followers to pray together and practice faith during the post-pandemic times and prevent religious-based discriminations? How can we bridge that gap of discrimination on the basis of religion? Third question is, promoting leadership qualities of the responders and service providers and building capacity in psychological care and support gender-based violence, promoting resilience in the communities. So over to sister, and now we want to listen from you. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Question number 1. The post-emergency or disaster phase is one of the most crucial phases for every time of trial. It is a phase that requires immediate and effective humanitarian action, synchronized with a long-term process of self-rejuvenation and contemplation. For immediate post-disaster action, work must be done both on an individual as well as on a community scale. Helping one another, our neighbors, our families and friends, or even strangers with what they need. Hearing their stories, supporting them through their hardship is one step towards achieving it. Individual kindness and generosity plays an important role here. As communities, work can be done with full enthusiasm, from providing relief to a large group of people who are in need and get a greater outreach in terms of awareness. Organizing healing camps where we can all share our individual struggles and understand how to cope up with them. Focusing on the significance of faith during the post-pandemic struggle and on the acceptance and thanksgiving to God for helping us prevail during the storm. Community and individual-based approaches are the best way for a better humanitarian effort towards achieving healing. It must be done without discrimination. This helps us grow as communities, unified and stronger than ever. Question number 2. After every storm, there comes a calm phase when the surroundings are tranquilized as a sign that we had not perished but prevailed. But the damage that has been thrusted upon our faith must be fulfilled and rejuvenated slowly but effectively. After the pandemic or any disaster, it takes time to recover from all the pain and loss. This is a process that takes time, and we as humanitarians must respect that. We must all gather as communities and share our grief, lend our ears to our brothers and sisters, irrespective of caste, religion, or sex. Care about their losses, comfort them, and help them get back to life. After all, life heals life. When we help each other, we help ourselves. And in the process, we grow and become stronger. Question number 3. Hard times are one of God's way of testing the faith and resilience of humanity. The world has been subjected to several hardships, from natural to artificial disaster in its history. The pandemic can be proxy for one such time of test and trial, where God makes us contemplate on the reason of things around us, the death, the insurmountable grief and sufferings. What is the reason for all of it? Where does it lead us? What are the lessons that we can learn? In such times, the true faith of the human community is tested. We must not lose faith during these times. We must all gather and unify to work and do our little part to help and not lose faith in God. We must always trust that He is there for us. During such time, we must always communicate with others, understand each other's hardships, and care for one another. No matter how different our pathways may be, this is one way how human communities grow and evolve together. We must not run away from the storm, but face it and be prepared for what comes in the future. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Friends, I request all of you, because it may be a little difficult for any speaker to speak without looking at others' face, because all speakers want to see the expression of others. So if possible, if you are in a good position, please put on your cameras so that it will be an arrangement for all of us. So thank you so much, ma'am, for these precious thoughts. And friends, be prepared with your questions if you have any, so that in the question and answer section, we also will put some questions in relation to them. So now I would like to, I'm so happy to see my senior, Brother Joaquin Campo. I'm honored to have you here. Thank you. So now our next panelist will be Sardar Bachchan Singh Saralji. Hope you are listening to me, sir. I'm audible to you. Bachchan sir, are you there with us? Bachchan sir? Bachchan Singh Saral sir. In the list I can see you. Would like to see your face, sir. Bachchan sir, are you there? Atmas Khanji?
I think, sir, he is having audio issue.
Okay, okay. Okay, then from among our other participants, if anyone wants to put few lines on any of these subjects, or if anyone has any question, it will be our privilege if Bachchan sir gets into our group, maybe once the problem is solved. Till that, let us ask questions to our three precious panelists. They have wonderful thoughts for us, and we can listen to their responses. Anybody, any question? It's time for you, friends. You means for all of us, all participants. Brother Campo, any question from you? Campo bhai, some question to our panelists.
Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, very much.
Very good. Okay, I feel it is very good discussion and very other directions we received from Madam Asmita, Mr. Muzaffar Ali, and Madam Rosario. However, I would like to hear from them, because have they addressed such issues directly? That is my, maybe they have, I know Brahma Kumari, the good organization, when any disaster comes, immediately they address different fields, different to visit different communities and address those issues. But like to hear from there, what not very hypothetical, and hypothetical means not very spiritual, but while they're addressing those issues, what they found while the people because any disaster is not for the religious base, it is common for all. Any pandemic or disaster, any disease, it is for all when we face. So have they addressed such issues? If they share their experience from their own, it would be for better. Thank you.
So I would request all our panelists to answer to this question. What simply I understood is some practical experience in such pandemic time, such time.
Yes, thank you for that question. Apart from physical reliefs which are sent by the organization as a collective effort to help, apart from this, I'm talking about some very practical examples in various events that have taken place. First, I would like to tell you about the Bhopal Gas Tragedy. At that time, we have a very small center which was very closely situated to that place from where the gas started leaking. And we have another big center, but that was far away. And there was some program there, and most of the people had gone there. So they were safe. But there were two young sisters in this small center, which was, within half a kilometer range of the place, where the gas leak was taking place. And two young sisters who were not very highly educated. They were full-time dedicated, and they were in that center. And when the gas started leaking, it was odorless, it was colorless. Nobody knew what was happening. So they heard some commotion in the street, and they looked out of the window, and they found people were running helter-skelter. And when those people saw the two sisters looking out of the window, they shouted out to them, "Run, run," because they could feel something stinging in their eyes. They didn't know what was happening. So they asked the sisters to run, bhago, bhago. So if they had got panicked, and if they had, started running, the same thing would have happened to them, what happened to so many people. But what these sisters did, they closed the window and they just sat in meditation for a few minutes. Meditation means they were allowing the mind to become clear and calm and, think clearly. And in that, few minutes of calming down the mind, it was like they got a divine touching as to what to do. They were not very highly educated. They didn't know what was happening, just like others. But what they did was, it was December, it was cold. And they went first and had as much water to drink as they could. Then they switched on the fan full speed, and they took the razai, that quilt, thick quilt, and they put it on their head and they lay down. And as they lay down, they were in meditation. And after a couple of days, when anybody could go and see, to check on them whether they were okay or not, they were quite safe and they survived. So they asked them how they managed to survive. There was plenty of death around them, plenty of calamity around them. So, what they had done was very scientific, because they had taken all that water, drunk all the water. So that was able to remove most of the toxins in their body. And, taking the quilt on their head and that fan on full speed. And in meditation, when your mind is calm, your breathing is very, slow. So minimum poisonous gas had entered them, and so they survived. And why I'm telling you this, it's not just a matter of surviving. It is a matter of, when you are able to keep your mind calm and, stable, you're able to see what to do. Because sometimes, the way out or the way to survive or the way to help somebody is just there in front of you, but because of the fear or panic, people are not able to use that. So keeping your mind clear and calm, it's like, keeping your mobile switched on. There is, divine help. There is always there. But we are not able to receive it because the mind is closed. So this is a little practice which helps. Another time I remember about one brother who is practicing, the Brahma Kumari's meditation and a very regular student. He told his experience. He was on the 67th floor of the Twin Tower when when there was an attack on 9/11. He was on the 67th floor. And even then, when the collision took place, nobody knew what was happening. They just thought first it was some earthquake or something. And they started running down the stairs because lifts obviously could not be used. And it took a long time for them to, come down the stairs. And because there was no electricity, there was no light, and there was water flowing on the stairs, and a lot of people were coming down. And he said that when they were coming down, many people were crying, they were scared, they were crying, and many people were full of panic. So because he was practicing meditation every day, and that kind of mindset had been developed, he was able to not only come down himself, but also calm down others who were, going down the stairs. And if anybody was really scared, he even helped them to go ahead. Normally what happens, there's a rush to go out and escape, and, they will push others and try to come out. But here, because of that stability of the mind, they were able to, keep calm and help others. And, as soon as he exited from that tower, it just came down. So these are two examples. Several others, how in very difficult situations, very adverse situations, a person who has been practicing keeping their inner calm can help others and can maintain that positivity. So actually, these are times which remind us that human beings have infinite capabilities. We human beings are not ordinary beings, really. We are the best creation of the Supreme. And as brother was saying, some time back, we are sent here with some divine responsibility, and not just responsibility, we have the capability also. So that wonderful capability that we have, impossible capabilities that we have, they need to be tapped. that resource is there. The soul is the resource from which we are able to use that capability and go through and face any difficult situations and emerge winners.
Thank you so much, sister. Thank you so much for your response. Muzaffar Ali Sahab, if you are there, sir, we also want to listen from you to the question, any practical response you have done, and we want to learn from your experience.
Yes, sir.
Please, sir.
I have seen that during this pandemic, a lot of volunteers came up to help. And this was because of the motivational work done by the faith-based organizations. I mean, they said, you see, this calamity has come and it might come to you also. So those who are suffering, they need your helping hand. I mean, it was a very exemplary step taken by a large number of community members who came forward to help the people who were in distress. This is number one. Number two, the students' camps, which we organized, they were motivated to serve the community under all circumstances. I mean, they must inculcate, they must cultivate a feeling of service among themselves. The kind of materialism that is becoming the output of the aim and target of our education has to be given a secondary position. The primary position is to make people service oriented for the entire humanity. I mean, these two things are there, and I have seen that a lot of action has taken place through these two things. Number three is that the organizations like Jamaat Islami, you must have heard that they took part in relief operations in all disasters, natural and unnatural, man-made, or any of those things, and they provided food and relief to the suffering people. I mean, this could not have been done without motivating them through spiritual lessons. So I think these are some of the examples.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Friends, somewhere some noise is coming. I request you, if you are not speaking, please mute yourself, because we are listening to the responses of our panelists. So I request other friends to please mute yourself when you are not speaking. Now I request to our sister Chandana Rajario, if you have some response, some practical response, in response to Brother Joachim Campos' question, that what practical ways have you addressed any situation? That experience of yours can help us out. Can we hear from Sister Chandana Rajario? Sister, are you there?
Sister Chandana Rosario.
Rosario. Thank you for this correction. Thank you. If sister is not there, I think I would like to read for all of you. This question is from Brother Nawaz Khan for all our panelists. The question is, how as faith leaders we can include DRR and climate change in our sermons and teachings? Do they also need to be oriented on it? Disaster risk reduction and climate change. How can this be included into our sermons and teachings to our followers? And should they be oriented? Now we got Sister Chandana among us.
Yes,
Sister,
yes.
We want to respond to the first question raised by Brother Campo.
Yes.
And if you have any practical experience, please.
During COVID, the youth of Baruipur Polli Union Shamiti have delivered food to the needy who were affected with COVID and have generously helped them. I've visited their place, and that's my experience. Really, it's amazing.
That's good. Now, I request all three of our present panelists that yes, sister, Are you speaking
May I
anything?
just
Please.
may I just add something to the first
Please.
question which was asked?
Definitely. Yes.
Yes, like I was saying, apart from all the relief measures, given physically, like distributing food or sending clothing or other necessary things, especially after the pandemic, I find there are a lot of people who have been mentally, very badly affected. And so, I mean, every day, every single day, we are getting requests from so many people who badly need help to stabilize themselves. People have lost faith in themselves. They've lost faith. They've lost faith in life. So, even children, small children, are facing such depression and in a very bad condition. And family situations are in a chaos. The relationships are in a chaos, especially after this pandemic. So, what religious or spiritual people, leaders can do very much is to help people become positive, look at life in a very positive manner, help them to regain their inner strength. So this is happening every day in our centers. Every single day, people are coming for counseling and help.
Thank you so much, sister. Thank you so much. And now we will go to, with due respect to all your responses, our another friend, Nawaz Khan, he has a question for all of you. The question I'm reading for you is, how as faith leaders we can include disaster risk reduction, DRR, and climate change in our sermons and teachings? Do they also need to be oriented on it? This is for you all to respond, please. How as faith leaders we can include DRR and climate change in our sermons and teachings? Do they also need to be oriented on it? Yes. Oh. Any one of you can start.
I can speak after anybody else who may wish to speak first.
Definitely. Muzaffar sir, Ali sir, can we listen from you?
Yes. Can you just please repeat the question?
The question is from our brother Nawaz Khan. How as faith leaders we can include DRR and climate change in our sermons and teachings? Do they also need to be oriented on it? Should we orient them on this?
Yes, of course, definitely. This is a big responsibility because environment is not a joke. It is a very important part of our lives. And, this relates to the future generation of human beings on this earth. So our students, our young generation, our faith leaders, our followers need to be educated in this matter, because you see, without positive action, without concerted effort, it is not going to help. This time also, everybody is complaining that there is a lot of heat, the glacier is melting down, the water level is rising, the carbon levels are rising. I mean, who is going to do it? The conferences are being held in European countries and in air-conditioned rooms, but the groundwork has to be done through the people. I mean, the people, the common man. If common man becomes conscious and they realize their responsibility, then this will be a big thing. So because most of the damage is being done by the ignorant people, the people who don't understand the significance of this protection of the environment. So the faith-based leaders have a duty and responsibility to educate their followers. That we are doing to some extent. During the sermons, these issues are discussed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this. Sister, can we listen from you? Sister B.K.
Yes.
Asmita. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I agree on that. And like what we learn in spirituality is that what we receive, we should return. And what we give, we will definitely get back. So this world around us, the environment, which is, the nature, the 5 elements of nature, we are constantly receiving. So, like in Hinduism, they are known as Devata, Surya Devata, Jal Devata, 5 elements are known as Devatas. Devata means Dene wala, the one who gives. But today, human beings have become Levatas. They only want to take. So, if you are connected with the divine, you realize that you also have a Devata inside you, one who can give. And so, instead of exploiting and abusing nature, it is our responsibility to give to nature. And that is why, there are many projects that we can do together. We can motivate. It is World Environment Day on 5th of June. And we are starting a project known as Kalpataru. Kalpataru, is a wish-fulfilling tree. So it's going to be a project in which we'll be motivating people not only to plant more trees, but also to take care of them. People will plant trees and then forget about it. And they may just dry up and, get finished. But to take care of those trees, to nurture them, to sustain those trees. And along with that, it's not just Kalpataru. It is added with Ruh. Ruh, in Urdu, it means the soul or the spirit. So sustaining the soul. How is the soul sustained? Just like the world becomes better when it is greener, we get oxygen from the trees. In the same way, the soul is sustained or it is nurtured with positive values like peace, respect, understanding, perseverance, patience. These are the values that sustain the soul. So to plant these values within the soul and to nurture your own being, which is done through spirituality. So this Kalpataru project, we are going to be motivating people to sustain nature by planting more trees and taking care of them, and also to sustain the ruh, the soul, by sustaining the positive qualities. So like this, when a spiritual leader or a religious leader speaks, he whatever he or she is saying reaches the hearts. And so we can bring about any change only by, touching the hearts of people. And just intellectually, so many things are understood. But when something is understood from the heart, then it, actually becomes a reality. So I think this is a very important role that spiritual and faith leaders can play.
Thank you so much, sister. Thank you so much. Sister Chandana, can we get your response on this second question? Sister Chandana, are you there? Till we get Sister Chandana, I too have personally one question for all our panelists, our spiritual leaders. What I want to learn is, apart from the spiritual teachings, which are really essential, I understand, how should we inculcate, how can we include the everyday issues into our teachings, into our practices? Like so many practical issues are there, as this disaster is one of them. And also many issues related to women, many issues related to children. How should we include all these into our daily teachings, into our daily practice? Yes, our spiritual leaders definitely do that. How do you influence your followers or the people, those who listen to you carefully? How do you teach them to be useful for the bigger human society? how do you teach them to get involved into the practical issues in life, apart from spiritual practices, like your meditations and other rituals, maybe child labor issues, child marriage issues, and climate change, as one of our friends has asked, and women atrocity against women, and many other things, exploitation to children. How do you teach them? How do you influence others who follow you, who believe you, or who trust in you and do what you say? How do you influence them to do? It's my little desire to listen from you.
May I take this again, please?
Yes, sister, please.
One basic teaching, which is essential for spirituality or for practice of meditation, is the understanding that I am not merely a body, I am a soul. Soul, which is an energy. And body is like our instrument. We are using this instrument to express ourselves. But the essence is the soul, the energy. And you're not a man or a woman, you're not a child or an old person. That is the condition of your body. You are a soul, you're an energy. So I am a soul and I see others also as a soul. So immediately there is, the feeling of equality. The question of looking down or, ill-treating anyone else, any other soul, does not come up because, based on the body, all these differences are there. Gender, the differences of caste, the difference of color, difference of, any differences that are there, which are dividing us, are only based on this outer instrument that we are using, the body. But if you're soul conscious, then immediately you're able to connect with the souls of others and, have that positive outlook towards everyone. And so that is how, the respect for women, respect for children, taking care of them, it happens naturally. And that is why, this organization, the Brahma Kumaris, is known as Brahma Kumaris, not because it's a women's organization. It is an organization where we have brothers, sisters, but this is, I think, one of the largest organizations in the world, which is led mainly by women. Because the founding father of this organization thought that those who are most neglected, if they are given the prime responsibility, automatically the society will be, uplifted, because no social change can happen without a very positive and strong involvement of women, empowerment of women. And so, recognizing the power of women, he has, helped everyone to respect the qualities of women, because for bringing about a social change, I'm not just talking about women. What is required for bringing any social change is feminine qualities. There are some qualities which are masculine. There are some qualities like feminine. So the world, for getting healed today, requires these feminine qualities of peace, feminine quality of love, of patience, tolerance. These are the qualities, and they're known as feminine qualities. They're required to heal the world, to make this world a better place. Right? So, when we are soul conscious, then these qualities can be used very easily. We get an access to these qualities. And so, all issues like, taking care of children properly, of respecting women, it happens very easily and naturally.
Thank you, sister. Thank you so much for the precious thoughts. Hope we can listen from Sister Chandana. Is she there, or is she connected, or she got disconnected? I think sometimes she got disconnected. And can we listen from Muzaffar, sir? Muzaffar Ali, sir. Sir, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here.
Please, sir. Please, sir.
Yes, sir. I think we should take some decisions. I mean, whatever we are doing for our community and whatever is being done through religious movements and religious practices, it has to be streamlined. I mean, for example, as the sister was saying, that many people have forgotten that we have an spiritual existence also. I mean, this has to become a part of all the religions. So whatever is there, many big things, good things are there in the religion, but it is hidden in the scriptures. Why can't we bring out simple, easy to understand folders, books for the people, giving the essential religious teachings for the common people, so that they not only they, I mean, people are sometimes very sentimental about religion, but they are not committed to the basic teachings. I mean, this lack of commitment is, I think, a major issue of the religious movements. This coming, we can see some people are very dedicated. They work for people. They dedicate their life and their time for people. But this is not a common feature of our society. It has to be increased. The proportion of people caring for others has to increase, but through whatever religion it might be. See, I mean, I think this is very important. We should prepare some literature also. We can meet, we can have webinars like this or seminars when it is possible, and try to bring about positive changes in the society. I mean, in West Bengal, we are fortunate that we are not having a situation like some other states where there are a lot of problems. This is a good thing that in West Bengal we have a better climate. The people can understand. The people are not divided on religion lines. That's a good feature of this society. I think we can go ahead with many things, with many programs. And if it is initiated by different religions in a group together, that will be very effective. Sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So, unfortunately, till now, I think Sister Chandana got disconnected. Friends, if you have any more question, now time for you. It seems many are not asking questions. I request all of you to please put on your cameras and also ask some questions, because this is a very precious time. By putting our questions, we can listen to the precious thoughts from our spiritual leaders. I request all of you, friends, those who have not yet asked any question, please ask. I'm thankful to Brother Nawaz Khan, also to Brother Jokin Kamtu, who asked questions, and we could get some good ideas about that. Any other friends, if you want to ask any question, please, it is time for you. We have one question now from Aman Khan ji. I request all the panelists to listen to the question. I'm reading for you. Women don't go to religious places as much as compared to men. On issues like environment and disaster, go to religious places as much as compared to men. How they can be touched open on issues like environment and disaster risk reduction? How will faith leaders reach them at home? Questions for you, and we want your response to this. This question is from our friend Aman Khan. Muzaffar sir, can you please initiate your response?
Yes, it is a matter of fact that
Please,
our
sir.
women are not part of these activities as much as men are. I mean, that has to be looked into, especially our religious places. They don't have a space for ladies. So this is one of the drawbacks, I understand, and there is some misunderstanding also about it. But the women have to take the responsibility. They have to play a role in the society. I mean, nobody can deny it. So we have to think about it as a, how can we increase their participation. See, the preventive measures like wearing a mask or maintaining distance or personal hygiene. So this needs a bit of education. So if this becomes a part of our education, rather than concentrating on, when we talk about diffusing the flames, I mean, putting out the fire. But if you see, fire brigade is ready to extinguish the fire, and everybody is busy in lighting the fire. So what will happen? How can you get the result? I mean, see our media, see our political dispensations, see the divisive activities. They are all working against the interests of the humanity, against the interests of the society. So, I mean, a lot of awareness is required, including the women. So that is not possible unless we all try for this. I see this. I understand this is a weak point.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Well said. Yes, because we all are the members of the big universe, and women are not exception to it. They are very much important, and they are very much a very important part of this universe, this creation, and they have a very vital role to play. So awareness is required, as sir said, and we especially
Your voice is breaking.
religious leader, uh, no, the question was, how can women be touched? In some places, they are not allowed to participate. Response from you, sister.
Are you asking me?
Hello? Yes, sister, can you see? Actually, in some religious places, women are not allowed. They don't participate. Then how will they be made aware? How can the religious leaders touch the women?
Well, in our organization, we have a huge presence of women, but I think in such places, they could organize separate programs for women. They could have a women's cell and separate program. Maybe if not in the whole gathering, some special thing could be organized for them.
Yes, definitely. So another friend has a question. Nitish ji, as a religious leader or organization, how can we play a role in reducing the spread of fake news and hate messages on social platforms? As a religious leader or an organization, how we can play a role in reducing the spread of fake news and hate messages on social platform? What can we do as spiritual leaders? Please, your response on this. Any one of you can take it first. Sister Asmita, you can take first.
We allow people to understand that what they are being served by the media is not reality. In fact, in many of our centers, we are, helping people to detox digitally, because there's so much of input of such a variety of information. If you keep listening to something that is fake again and again and again, although it is fake, although it is a lie, but if you listen to it every day, it is going to leave some imprints there. So somewhere you have to stop listening to it. Somewhere. It's not that एक कान से सुनो, दूसरे कान से निकाल दो. एक कान से सुनो, but in the process of निकालें, and taking out from the other ear, it is influencing you here. So stop listening to it. बुरा ना देखो, बुरा ना सोचो, बुरा ना सुनो. What is that? See no evil, hear no evil, talk no evil. So avoid that which is evil. Avoid that which is negative. Don't listen to it. So, one thing is, first you listen, then you try to delete it from your mind. That's going to be a difficult thing to do. So this is what we advise usually in all our centers. Don't listen to that which is negative. And if you chance to hear it, immediately stop. Listen to the voice of your inner conscience. Listen to the voice of the Supreme, the truth. And the more you listen to the voice of truth, the less you will be influenced by that which is a lie.
Thank you so much, sister. Thank you so much. And Muzaffar sir?
See, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he has said that you are not supposed to spread lies. I mean, for someone to become a liar, it is enough that he conveys to others whatever he listens without verifying it. I mean, this is, we have been telling the people, this is called a tradition. It has been taught that you have to be a tester of facts. I mean, you have to verify the facts before you spread it. I mean, this we have been telling the people, and unfortunately, there is a flood of fake news and mysterious news and sensational news in our media, in our social media. I mean, that's a very unfortunate thing. We have to teach people that they have to be responsible. They cannot just spread this. I mean, this seems to be very theoretical, but nothing else is possible except our sound education system, our sound social system, our spiritual system that takes care of these things, these shortcomings. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, all our panelists. We are really grateful to you for your valuable thoughts. Now, I think we don't have many questions. So we are grateful to every one of you for your precious thoughts. Thank you very much, all participants. And now it's over to Sister Apreen. Over to you, sister. Almas Khan sir or Apreen Haidarji, over to you.
Yeah, thanks all of you for a very wonderful and insightful session. It has been such an honor to thank you all for this great event. On behalf of this Fair India, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude and special thanks to our esteemed keynote speaker, Mr. Simanshu Patnaik from UNICEF, and moderator, Mr. Kunal Naik from World Vision India. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to all the panelists from the different religious background, Sister B.K. Smita, Chief of Brahma Kumaris, Muzaffar Ali, General Secretary of All India Educational Movement, Chandona Rosario, active member of Signis Bengal, who participated the event with enrichful and amazing discussions with lot of clear and solid understanding shared among us and to make this event a memorable one. I would also thank my colleagues at Sphere India, Ms. Mansi Kaushik, Mr. Altamash Khan for their backend support, as well as to UNICEF India and World Vision India. Finally, I would like to thank all of you present here for making the time to be with us today and helping us to make this event a grand success. We hope to see all in our future sessions as well. Your thanks again, one and all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Afrin, and thank you, sir. Thank you, Kunal, sir, and all our panelists. It was such a wonderful session today, in fact. Thank you again.
Thank you, Atmasji. Thank you so much. Thank you, all panelists. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.